Oh yeah, thank goodness we took his whistle away.
Noisemaker.
Yeah, noisemaker thing. Um, but I think we can both agree. Like, best of bourbon is a lot of fun. Best of whiskey is even more fun because
It's just hard work.
it is. I don't know how to explain it. So best of bourbon, it's just traditional bourbon. It's good, and I love bourbon.
I mean, we had some really good bourbons,
Yeah, we did. But
which is fantastic.
best of whiskey is just like curveballs, and it's so much fun. It's just like,
A lot of uniqueness.
yeah, and it's very much like, what do I prefer? So like
Mm.
anything in of these. So I did 8, you did 8, so 16. Any of these 16 bottles we talk about, absolutely go pick up a bottle. If you like that flavor profile, and we'll talk about all the flavor profiles. But it's just so much fun because there's so much differentiation and everything like that. I look forward to the best of whiskey each year. I think more than I look forward to best of
Oh,
bourbon. And that's just where I am. Like,
that's
bourbon
oh
is just
wow.
traditional notes.
That's saying
So
a lot. So,
yeah,
I mean, I love the category, obviously. So, what we're putting into this is best of bourbon is very strict, has to be a bourbon, right?
yeah,
This is Rise. This is anything finished,
yep. Double oaked.
which could be as I say, could be an extra oak finishing cask where some of that is transparency or lack of transparency. Do we know
Yeah,
if it's actually still a bourbon? Because you can have a double oaked and it still be a bourbon if it's a
yeah.
new barrel. But some of this we don't know. So, to spoiler alert, Barrel Vantage, for instance, we don't really know. It could be a second finished cask, which obviously at that point it's no longer a bourbon, so it goes in this
Yeah.
category. So
Yep.
this is expand, like to your point, it's expand or it covers everything from a traditional rye, anything from at least a 51% rye mash bill, all the way up to a bourbon that could have been finished in a finishing cask, a cognac cask,
Hmm.
a sherry cask, a Madeira cask, a port cask. Lord,
Yeah.
there's a
And
zillion finishing
I
casts these
mean,
days, but
and one of these days I might throw a scotch in just to see if I could
do not
get a
do it. It's
get a
not going to
winner.
do
It
well.
could happen. It
You're going to
could.
have to get another vote on this channel. Um,
We will
so
see.
let's quickly talk methodology. If you've
Yeah.
watched the channel, you probably have a feel for what we do for our best of whiskey, or best of bourbons, or best of series. But if you
Yep.
don't, if you haven't watched it, our methodology is TJ and I each submit this year. We each submitted 8 different whiskeys. Um, we sampled a lot more than that, so don't think
Yep.
we just submitted 16 whiskeys and that was it. We each do a lot of work in blinding. Geez,
A lot. I think,
tens to 100 to more
yeah.
whiskeys each year to decide which 8 per person are going to go
Mhm.
in. We also confer to make sure we're not duplicating. Some bottles we each have and we don't want to duplicate, so we make sure that we're not duplicating. So each of those get submitted blindly. And so and then we each sit and maybe we taste. Well, the format is we pour into a glass, let it sit for 10 minutes,
Yep.
and then we rate it for nose, palate, finish, an overall score. We take some tasting notes, and then maybe we sample 3 a night. So we're tasting these individually. It's not in a blind format. It's
Right.
blind, but you're not comparing them side by side in a given evening. And then we rank them.
Yep.
So we let the data speak for itself. Sometimes TJ and I disagree.
And we'll talk
Blue
about
Run,
that because there's a
Blue
bottle
Run
we
15.
really disagree on.
And there is one tonight that I think we'll discuss. That's maybe the most controversial
Yeah.
in the history of the channel.
Yeah. And we only are going to submit bottles that we found on the shelf at MSRP, not things people gifted us, not things that we were like lucky and found. So, like a perfect example is I'm going to point to it, this bottle right here, Feculin, which is a Bardstown bourbon collab. You could only get it at the distillery, but the reason I was okay submitting it is we bought our first bottle in August. My wife and I just went to the distillery here in the beginning of January and we bought a backup bottle. So from August to January, if you visited Bardstown, you could get this bottle. So in my mind, that is completely fair and everything like that. It's not like a one-time magical rainbow pot of gold unicorn you followed to this liquor store and you
luck of
found
the
it.
Irish, sorry. Yeah.
Type of thing. So that's what we're doing. We very much want our best of bourbon, our best of whiskey to be things that you theoretically should be able to find. And I understand some of it.
And at this point, like
reasonable.
maybe you can't find them anymore.
Right.
Because some of these, they hit the shelves and they're there for a month or two, but you could have found them.
Yeah.
And that's not true of everybody in the country. Unfortunately, we know distribution has its limitations, but
if nothing else,
TJ and I
also,
are both
right.
like, neither of us have these great connections. We're in different parts of the country, and that gives us a little bit of diversity. And we're also in the Midwest, so I apologize if you're on the West Coast and you're like, I don't see any of this stuff.
Right. If nothing else, we're giving you name brands to look for. So when a name brand comes out with something, you might give it a shot because of something you saw. So, yeah,
for sure.
So just like our best of bourbon, we've got our final 5
that we're going to blind off.
That we're going to blind off while we introduce what we thought was each of our 8 best whiskeys of the year. We're going to narrow these down and rank them. And then we will have a video. So this will probably release on a Tuesday. We'll have another one that releases on Thursday. That is our official best whiskeys of 2022. So I have no idea what we're drinking. I just know it's our top 5 best whiskeys after the first run through. And I'm excited to go with it.
I mean, I'm starting down at number 5 here. We're working backwards. If this is number 5, the nose is fantastic.
Yeah. It's it reminds me of a little bit of a dusty. It's a toasted oak with a
I get a lot of honey, but I get a little toasted oak in there.
Yeah, it's you just smell this all day long and be happy.
Mm-hmm. Happy. Little bit of rye. Herbalness in that palate. Oh gosh. But it just leaves you with a cocoa finish. That is just chocolate.
Man. Yeah, I'm like trying to figure out which one that is.
I have a guess, idea. But maybe introduce your best of submissions.
Yeah, so we'll go through it. So I think overall
that's chocolate. Sorry.
Yeah, the vast majority of my bottles you can find. So the first one all the way at the end here is a bottle.
I don't think we can see it. Can we see it? No, we can't see it. Okay.
Yes, right here. Right. So this is a brand that I feel like is a big Illinois thing. Like I haven't seen it anywhere else, but
Illinois from DC.
I mean, I'm saying like where you find it is Illinois. Like, yes, it's a DC brand.
That's where I found it, but I live in Illinois. So.
That's where you found it. That's where my buddy found it, and he gave me this bottle, and I'm very happy about that. Which is Untitled. It's from 1/8 Distillery. They buy barrels, generally MGP, and they finish and other stuff. And so this one is a single finish cask. It's in Calvados. It is an 11-year and is 120 proof, and it is a Safeway pick. So grocery store, everything like that. Exceptional, and that's why we put it in there.
Well, I mean, like Untitled was our best whiskey of 2021, if I'm not mistaken. And our number 3 bourbon was it was a single barrel. Yeah. That was a single barrel 14-year MGP, which
Yeah, they're doing some amazing stuff and they're not very well talked about. So if you see one,
I think their finishing casts are amazing.
yeah,
So
yeah. And they're not going up in price like Bardstown is. So they might
I
be
mean,
the
they're already
new
up there,
go-to.
but
Right.
yeah, agreed.
So
Not $170. No.
yeah. The next one I have over here is a Bardstown, and it is the Bardstown Ferculin. So that is finished in an Irish whiskey that's like 21 years old, with a little bit of the Irish whiskey blended in. It
I would
is
say it's actually blended with
yeah,
the Irish whiskey, right?
yeah. It is freaking amazing. It is freaking expensive. It's like $200. Like I said, you can only get it at the distillery. It is the
You got to
first.
stop giving me a hard time about being Chuck's Chop
Yeah.
Shelf if you're
It is
putting
the
in $200 whiskeys here.
it is the first $200 whiskey that my wife was like, "You need to go buy a backup because
That's
is
more
so
expensive than any of my submissions for the record.
I don't
just
care.
want that to be note. Court reporter, please
It is
note
amazing.
that Chuck is not submitting the most expensive whiskey.
And if you go to Bardstown, they still have it. And if you like Irish whiskey, like you gotta buy it. Then the next two I submitted because I didn't think they were good enough, but we blinded them off on New Year's and we decided they were good enough. Is the New Riff picks for the fall, which is an Aristuk bottled and bond 6-year malted rye, and the other one is the Crystal Malt malted rye. Both very, very good.
One of those, sorry, is a bourbon one's a rye?
The Crystal Malt and malted rye. So it is a bourbon and a rye, and the other one is just all rye. The Arstook is all
really
rye.
highlighting the emphasis on the differences of malting, really.
Yeah. They said it was a throwback to all the beer that is being done in Cincinnati. They wanted to highlight the malting of the beer and different malts and everything like that. And they are both absolutely delicious. Any limited release from New Riff is amazing. And all you have to do to get that is be part of their free whiskey club and then just go to
and then be
Cincinnati.
Able to be close enough to be Cincinnati. Yeah.
Or know somebody that'll pick it up for you. That is the good thing. They do allow other people to pick it up. So,
yeah.
Again,
they've given us Balboa Rye, which was a varietal, which was one of our favorite ryes. Yeah. So I'm excited about these. I've only tasted them prior to the best of only once. So I'm excited to see what they can do with these with the malt characteristics. It's fun for us to me to see the differences of how when you change, whether it's a specific grain. In this case, it's actually post growing the grain. It's the malting character. So that process, how that changes the flavors in the finished product years down the road.
Oh yeah. Like, I mean, that's the fun thing about this category. It's just the experimental, the new stuff. Like you're going to get some terrible stuff, but you're going to get some special stuff too. And that's what we got right here.
Send the terrible things. And
that's what I'm saying. That's what we got here is all the special stuff. So after those guys, I put the Jack Daniel's triple mash because Fred Minnick was saying this is the best thing in the world, and other people were saying that. So I mean,
we loved it, and Brian sent us a Jack Daniel's. Brian, of all people, got lucky on a Coy Hill bottled and bond and a triple mash, and so he sent us a nice Jack Daniel's flight. And if I recall right, we love this triple mash.
Yeah, definitely. And then I had to put it in because these guys do amazing stuff. And this one's just kind of hitting it out of the park for me personally, which is the Pursuit United Toasted Bourbon. They have a toasted rye. I didn't buy that, but I bought the toasted bourbon, and it's freaking awesome. And then, I mean, keeping on the toasted category, Dixon Dedman came out with the Phoenix Blend 2XO, and everyone's going crazy for that. And he does some amazing stuff. So I threw that bad boy in.
If you're not familiar, Dixon Dedman, right, former founder of Kentucky Owl,
and Old Carter.
Carter.
Yeah, he started Old Carter with the Carters. So he's done a lot of really good stuff.
Heavyweight.
Well known. Yeah, heavyweight, well known for a lot of stuff. But yeah, so this is his new brand, his new project, everything like that. Had to buy it, give it a try. And
that's interesting. I've seen that sitting on the shelf here in Illinois recently. So I'm anxious to see how that stacks up. Should I go out and buy a bottle?
I mean, it's $100, so it's a steep price.
In today's bourbon market,
not so much in today's bourbon market, but
what's happened to us? Sorry.
Right, I know. I remember when we were like, "Oh, $50 is a lot," and I'm like, $100, okay, whatever.
Yeah,
and then as we keep going this way to end the night, I put Barrel.
Oh, I couldn't even see label. This is like black over there.
This is Barrel Gray Label Dovetail, $250. Really, really good. I don't think it cracked the top 5 because it is.
We don't know that.
I'm like 99% sure. It is so unique in its flavor profile and everything like that. The viscosity, everything like that. It's just not going to stack up well against things, and it's I don't know how to explain it. It's that it's like a good champagne. You pull it out once a year and you're like, here you go. But you're not going to just drink it every day. So
I wouldn't know what a good champagne was if it smacked me in the face.
I mean, you do.
I want the record to show that you submitted the 2 most expensive
I do
whiskeys for this. The $200 for Keelan and the $250 Barrel Dovetail. And that might have been because I didn't submit the $250 Seagrass 16 year.